Looks like a very nice day. What do you say? Let's go out the door. Come on, Steve. We'll find Rex later. You didn't even show up yesterday, so you're trying to make good for today, huh? And there's T-Rex. Yeah, you ready, T-Rex? Of course he's ready. Let's go out the door. It's gorgeous out this morning. Who cares about that little bit of a cloud? I like the fact that the flag is hanging pretty much straight down. We've got glassy water, and I don't have to compete with the wind. The wind. What is wind? We're going to have to go through that again. What is a happy cat when it's out in the cement, getting his belly rubbed, twisting around? Yeah. Oh, you want me to check the ice bucket? Yesterday it was all water. It did get a little more solid last night, though. But it is going to melt. See, we got new ice last night, so we had some radiational cooling, and it was frosty in spots. So it was actually colder last night than the night before. And there's a slight chance that tonight a few of us will get down to freezing and frosty again. This high pressure system, which was causing so much wind, is right over us now, except there's still enough of a gradient on Nantucket. This morning, the wind was gusting to 32 miles per hour. It's that same old circulation now, way out over the Atlantic Ocean. That storm that did the blizzard loop over Nova Scotia earlier in the week, where I hear they're still digging out from a historic once-in-a-lifetime storm as we pass the anniversary of our historic once-in-a-lifetime storm. We will hear Bob Copeland's voice and more. Doug and I called him yesterday, reminiscing a little bit about the blizzard of '78. All right, so we've talked about that over and over. So it's still about a 1026 high-pressure system over Maine that's just far enough to the west to cause that wind on Nantucket this morning. Otherwise, we're mostly calm. What a ski day. I think it's not a bad surf day either. Cinnamon rainbows. It's high tide this morning, so you can't really make it out. But there is a 3-foot swell at about 9 seconds. And that's pretty good for winter surfing. Go out on an SUP as the tide goes out today with very light wind. Nice day for that. And what a ski day. So we've got the best surf ski weather combination going on. One day in a row we're not going to be windy. Tomorrow, as the high gets offshore, well, let's look at this surface map this morning. Looks like a big spider web centered over Minnesota. And that's the old storm from California, one of them. There have been so many. And that's going to drive up to our north. So all those black lines are isobars, and the more isobars you have, the tighter the pressure gradient, the more windy it's going to get from the southwest. And it looks like our temperature will be close to 50 tomorrow and close to 60 as it gets windy here on tomorrow night. And Saturday could be a record. The old record in Boston is 60, set way back a year ago, 2023. Most of the records are around 60 now. I remember several of those Februarys, though, I don't know, 5 to 10 years ago. We were actually in the 70s to near 80 a couple of times, so we're not going to have that extreme warmth. It's not going to last that long either. There's going to be a cold front coming through here. Well, first of all, it's a warm front. On Saturday, you see the warm front right over us, and then on Saturday night and Sunday, that's when we start getting into the cold fronts, but it's not going to get cold down near the ground with a wind from the west. It'll be cold up in the sky, enough for some mixed rain or snow showers coming through here Saturday. It's going to be a tough call on timing and placing all the different storms or low-pressure systems that are aimed at us in the next week or so. Initially on the warmer side with just a few rain showers until about Sunday, and then it starts getting colder aloft. And we look to the southwestern United States. Still some winter storm warnings in effect in the southwest. And I checked out that ski area that we were near last week, that Lee Canyon, just 35 miles north of Las Vegas. Oh, just 88 inches in the last 7 days near Las Vegas. I didn't check the California numbers, but amazing. And so each one of those lows is coming out and kind of buckshot scattered around, coming at the East Coast. The mergansers. Yeah, that's nice, isn't it? Seabirds. Martin likes the seabirds. Martin also wants to see some snow on Nantucket. I don't see any snow on Nantucket until maybe after the Tuesday system goes by, Martin. It's just going to be too warm. The cold is displaced. We talked about yesterday, we don't have the cold high pressure in place when those storms come by. So how are they going to go by anyway? I want to check one more thing. The radar looks kind of interesting this morning, as you can make out a circulation there, right where South Dakota meets Iowa, meets Minnesota. So that's the center of this low that's going to go to our west. So let's put them all into motion now. In the lower 48, this is the Euro model. And you can see low goes to our north, all those isobars with high pressure over Bermuda. We get the southwest winds, we warm up close to record warm Saturday, and then one front comes through here, then we start to get more of a west and a northwest breeze, and then another cold front's aimed at us on Sunday. Now we're watching those southern California systems slide by. There's going to be several waves. Looks like one wave there misses us to the south on Sunday night. Here comes another low, kind of breaks in two. Another wave misses us to the south Monday. And now let's slow it down. Here's Monday night. Much more reasonable in the barometer department. The Euro says it's going to stay in the 980s instead of the 970s and 60s. But anyhow, very fast-moving system. It's going to go right along just south of Long Island. The rain-snow line probably north of the Massachusetts Turnpike. There's just not that much cold. Elevation will play a big role, and the system is gone by about Tuesday morning. So that's about a 10 to 12-hour system. So even where it snows really hard, it'll be tough to get past 10 inches. So I'd say a widespread, probably about 6 or 7 inches of snow where that is all snow. And then it's a strip probably from your house, Mitch, in the hills of southern Vermont to about Sunday River or so. But maybe reaching all the way up to the Canadian border. That's still a work in progress. So funny last night watching a little bit of the people on TV saying, you know, it's too tough to call at this point. And of course it is. It's going to be too tough to call. Even on Sunday night, it's going to be too tough to call. So that's quite the understatement. That's going to be a moving target. But definitely something's going to happen here. And don't give up hope for snow near the south coast next week. There's more action behind that. Now, I want to expand and show the bigger picture because it gets really windy the end of next week. Why so? How so? Loving these birds like I am? Let's go to the really, really big picture, and we can watch that storm go off of southern New England on Tuesday, and then look at it head up towards the maritime provinces of Canada. And you can see it deepening now. It's getting ridiculously deep into the 950s, and it's stalling, and it's backing up, and it's doing a blizzard loop over Labrador and Newfoundland. So you follow Stan on Twitter. He's up there in Newfoundland, and he may have some blizzard pictures for us late next week. And if we just stop that on Friday and look at the surface map on Friday, an extraordinary, huge storm, if this Euro verifies, with the low pressure center just off the coast of eastern Canada. And look at the black lines, isobars, how they stretch from about Greenland, around the center of this thing, all the way to the Bahamas. A massive circulation is going to dominate so much of our side of the world here. And for New England, that's just a strong wind from the north. Very cold, but dry. But also note there's something off the west coast of California and something in the Gulf of Mexico. So that's next week, a week from today or tomorrow. And so even after the 10-day forecast, we may have action coming at us from the Gulf of Mexico in maybe 14 to 16 days, and also some of the coldest air on Earth at that time looks to be near Canada. And this winter, when we're talking about the coldest air on Earth, last week in Alaska where it was minus 60, whoops, it just fell. Last week in Alaska where it was minus 60, so the stakes are pretty high for when we talk about how cold it can get. You remember what happened a year ago when we hit minus 10 all of a sudden, and then we didn't see that coming from 10 days out. So something like that may be trying to happen. So when you ever have record warm, like we're talking about on Saturday, a week or two later, we may have record cold. But I guess on Saturday, if we do hit 60, I might start saying, oh, this is the warmest so far this season, after talking so many times in the last few months about the coldest so far. So we may have a warmest so far on Saturday, and then a week or 10 days later, we may be having another coldest so far. February and March can be really interesting, and that's how they look to be setting up right now. But for today, let's just enjoy what we have. Gorgeous, calm weather. This cloud is minimal, really. It's sort of just the first of a couple of warm fronts that are going to go by here. So yesterday, went back down to to see Doug again in Bert's Boatyard, and beautiful sunset. And we gave Bob Copeland a call. So he's doing really well in northern New Hampshire. We talked about old times and new times, and I just wanted to share with you his voice a little bit. All right, talk to you again tomorrow. 3 o'clock, February 7th. Rex gets so eager to go for a walk, he can't contain himself, Rex. Let me shut this door, okay? And let's show the people what the flowers look like over here. We've got the daffodils, and I think I saw some tulips in there. I don't know, there's 2 different kinds of daffodils coming up. So things are coming up. I thought I saw a tulip in there somewhere. Some of the chrysanthemums are trying to turn green underneath there. So if we can manage not to get down to 0 degrees in the next 2 weeks, which I don't think, I think we're probably going to get down to 0 by the looks of some of the Arctic air up there. So these might not survive. But last year they did not survive when we got down below 0 there on February 3rd. That 1-day cold snap really hurt them. Oh, look at that. We've got a little sundog up there. Refraction of sunlight off ice crystals. About 30,000 feet up. So we have the change in the weather pattern. New warmer air mass is coming in. So the February thaw has begun and the ground is saturated. And fortunately, it's the 6th dry day in a row. So we're really drying it out. Rex is taking me for a walk. Live at 5 just began on the radio. And the sun is still just barely above the horizon. We still can't see it from our backyard. Not for another couple weeks. But warm air advection has commenced. The February thaw is underway. Although we still may be pretty close to freezing the next 2 mornings, so it's going to be close. This intersection blows. No wonder there are not more accidents here. North Street.
CD.
And 3A.
CD.
Everyone's alright. Who tells stories of a century ago? That's just...
Isn't that amazing? Hey, hang on one sec.
Yep.
Yeah, what's that? Lunchtime? Okay.
Bob and Marsha, we interrupted their dinner time.
She informs me that dinner is just about ready.
Okay, well, we just wanted to say hello, and I want you to watch the video. And I know we've told these stories over and over about the blizzard of '78 and all that. And Doug told me about you were at the Channel 5, right?
Yes.
Did you stay there for a few days?
Oh, well, because I only lived, like 1,000 yards away.
Oh, right.
So I came in. I was one of 2 people that got to the station that second morning. And I walked in. I came down the railroad tracks because I figured maybe they'd be open. They weren't, but anyway, I got there. I made the mistake of putting my, getting dressed with my suit on and everything, and then using cross-country skis to get to work.
That's awesome.
So by the time I got to work, I was like I'd been in a steam bath, Yeah, everything was rather limp.
Well, I was watching as the sophomore at Dennis Yarmouth High School. We got sent home, and the sun came out on Cape Cod, and I still haven't recovered.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that happening. I didn't see it.
Well, anyhow, your famous map shows the occluded front right over Boston. It was just along that occluded front that all the action.
Yes, indeed.
So, anyhow, watch the video and say hello to Marsha. And we may have a little of you on again tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Hey, listen, keep in touch.
All right, Bob. Great chatting.
See you later, Bob. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for calling.
All right.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye now.